So, which Subaru delivers the better all-around SUV for real life? The fully redesigned 2025 Forester or the adventure-tuned 2026 Outback?
Today on Which Ride, we're diving into everything that matters: comfort, space, ride quality, towing, and which one fits your life better.
And trust me, if you care about ground clearance, roof rails, and real off-road chops, you'll want to stick around. This one's closer than you think.
I'm taking the 2026 Outback. It's bolder, more rugged, and adds serious tech and highway range for long hauls.
I'm with the 2025 Forester, sleeker, more practical, easier to live with every day. And now, you can even get it as a hybrid.
And I'll be chiming in when it comes to traction, towing, and who's actually ready for the dirt.
By the end, we'll stack them up on the scoreboard, and you might be surprised how it shakes out.
Let's kick it off where it really counts, under the hood.
Both the 2026 Outback and 2025 Forester follow the Subaru playbook: standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, X mode for tricky conditions, and a 2.5-liter boxer engine that favors balance over brute force.
And both ride on Subaru's Lineartronic CVT, quiet, predictable, and designed for smooth power delivery whether you're in the city or climbing mountain roads. Plus, you're getting at least 8.7 inches of ground clearance across the board.
So, yeah, if you're talking basic grip and go anywhere confidence, they're pretty much neck and neck. But beyond that, big differences.
The Forester focuses on everyday efficiency. The standard 2.5-liter engine delivers 180 horsepower. Step up to the new Forester Hybrid, and you get a bump to 194 horsepower plus a major boost in range, over 580 miles on a tank.
The Outback? It keeps things traditional. More muscle, less mileage focus. Stick with the 2.5 if you want, or move up to the 2.4-liter turbo and unlock 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. It feels effortless on the highway, and towing up to 3,500 pounds is no problem.
That towing difference matters. The Forester Wilderness can pull up to 3,000 pounds, which is solid for a compact SUV. But if you're hauling heavier trailers or gear, the Outback's extra grunt makes a difference.
Around town, the Forester feels lighter on its feet, easier to maneuver, and the new chassis upgrades make it even quieter and more comfortable at lower speeds.
On the open road, the Outback settles in better. Thanks to its longer wheelbase and a new WRX-derived steering rack, it's more stable at highway speeds, especially if you're road tripping fully loaded.
And when you want to leave the pavement, both have wilderness trims built for serious adventure. The 2026 Outback Wilderness steps it up even further, keeping 9.5 inches of clearance but adding upgraded suspension, all-terrain tires, and improved off-road angles to tackle even tougher trails.
If fuel economy is your focus, Forester edges ahead, especially with the new hybrid. Up to 35 miles per gallon combined. Outback's gas engines are solid but naturally thirstier, especially in turbo form.
So it's a question of priorities: city-friendly size and efficiency, or road trip muscle and rugged toughness.
Either way, they're both built for adventure. You just need to pick how wild you want to get.
That's the performance story. Now, let's step inside. Step inside, and both the Forester and Outback give you what you'd expect from Subaru: rugged usability, smart tech, and thoughtful details that make a difference in daily life.
Both come standard with a large center touchscreen, 11.6 inches in the Forester and 12.1 inches in the Outback. You also get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and real Climate B control buttons, not buried in a menu.
But once you settle in, the differences start to show. The Forester's cabin feels open and practical. Big windows, upright seating, and a lower step-in height make it easier to get in and easier to see out.
The Outback feels more refined, especially in higher trims. You've got copper accents in the Wilderness, soft touch materials, and for the first time, available ventilated front seats and Napa leather. It's a more relaxed, upscale space for long trips.
Both give you Subaru's latest tech: a full digital instrument cluster, physical volume knob, and easy-to-use menus. But if you're after that big screen feel, the Outback's wider dash layout looks a bit more integrated.
Rear seat comfort is where Forester really scores. It's tall and roomy, with great visibility and reclining second-row seats. It's an easy place to spend time, especially for families.
Outback fights back with more premium seat materials and a contoured rear bench that's better for longer rides. And even though the headroom's similar, the cushioning and ride feel are just a little more relaxed.
And if you're hauling gear, Forester gives you 29.6 cubic feet behind the second row. Outback stretches that to 34.6 and adds clever extras like utility hooks, a washable cargo cover, and a lower load floor that's easier on your back.
Noise levels have come way down in both. Forester is impressively quiet at city speeds, thanks to more sound deadening in the roof and pillars.
Outback does better at highway speeds, especially with the new suspension setup. Even on rougher roads, it stays calm and comfortable in the cabin.
So yeah, both cabins do the job. The Forester wins on visibility and access. The Outback feels more refined. Depends on whether you're chasing function or finish.
Let's talk design next. Which one actually looks tougher on the road? Both of these Subarus stick to the brand's rugged look. Chunky cladding, roof rails you can actually use, and upright shapes that prioritize function.
But the way they pull it off? Totally different. The Forester leans into that classic SUV shape, tall glass, clean lines, and a boxier profile that instantly feels familiar.
Outback's a different vibe. It stretches longer, about 192 inches nose to tail, and rides lower with a sleeker, more athletic silhouette. Wilderness adds copper accents, chunkier bumpers, hex-style LED fogs, and exclusive 17-inch matte black wheels wrapped in serious all-terrain tires.
You can see it in the stance. Forester stands tall and compact at 183 inches, while the Outback looks longer, wider, and more planted thanks to its 108-inch wheelbase and slightly lower roofline. But both bring real trail-ready presence, especially in wilderness form.
Oh, definitely. Both come with raised roof rails rated for 800 pounds static, with integrated tie-down points and smart crossbar markers. These aren't just for show. You can load tents, bikes, kayaks, the whole setup.
And both get full LED lighting with bold DRLs and sharper rear signatures. The Outback's new upright grille and matte cladding give it more attitude, especially in that wilderness trim.
Forester Sport brings gloss black accents and sharp 19-inch wheels to the mix. And even base trims hold that upright glass and clean lines that boost visibility and make it feel more honest.
Forester's also slightly taller, about 68 inches, which makes for easier entry and better outward sight lines. If you're coming from a sedan or smaller crossover, it feels more natural right away.
But the Outback's longer profile, flared cladding, and real off-road angles give it a unique kind of presence. The wilderness version especially looks ready to tackle anything, and backs it up with the most clearance in the lineup.
So yeah, Forester keeps it functional and familiar. Outback pushes bolder and more aggressive. Two very different shapes chasing the same mission.
Which one looks better to you? Drop your pick in the comments, and if you're enjoying the breakdown, please hit that subscribe button.
All right, time to stack them up, category by category. Let's hit the scoreboard. Let's start with performance.
The Outback pulls ahead here. Turbocharged power and an improved suspension setup make it stronger on the highway and better for towing. That's an 8.5.
Forester isn't slow, but it leans towards smooth and balanced. If power matters, Outback wins this one. Forester scores a 7.
Next up, drive feel. Forester's quieter in town, easier to see out of, and easier to park. That's an 8.5.
Outback's solid, but its extra size and weight take a toll in daily driving. It gets a 7.5.
On to practicality and cargo. The Outback has more volume, but the Forester gives you a lower liftover, a flatter floor, and easier cabin access overall. That's an 8.5.
The Outback still earns points for roof rails and overall space, but it's not as flexible day to day. That's a 7.5.
Interior comfort and tech. The Outback leans into luxury, big screen, full digital cluster, and higher-end materials in the wilderness.
Forester keeps it more functional. Similar screen setup, physical buttons, and a clean, user-friendly layout. This one's a tie. They both land at 8 out of 10.
Now on to wilderness capability. Forester's tuned for the trail, but the Outback now has better approach angles, taller tires, and new suspension tech. Forester gets a 7.5.
Outback Wilderness really is the more serious trail tool this year. That's an 8.5.
And finally, pricing and value. The 2025 Forester starts at $29,995, and most trims, hybrids included, stay comfortably under 40 grand. Standard all-wheel drive, great fuel economy, and strong long-term value. That's an 8.5.
Outback comes in a bit lower at $29,010, but climbs quickly as you move up. With 2026 expected to push even higher, Forester keeps the edge. That's a 7.5.
Final tally? Forester, 48. Outback, 47.5. Just half a point between them. Now on to our verdict.
So, just half a point apart. Scott?
Honestly, I came in thinking the Outback would take it. More power, more tech, more presence. But the Forester nails the daily driver stuff. Comfort, cargo, visibility, and now, hybrid efficiency. It's more than enough SUV for most buyers.
I get that, but I'm still Team Outback. That turbo punch, the off-road tuning, and the extra refinement in wilderness make it the better road trip machine.
Totally fair. But for under 40 grand, Forester's everyday versatility is tough to beat.
Which one gets your vote? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Until the next one, see you in the next ride.